if Tyler Robinson did it, and let's just say he wasn't a lone gunman, there were some people working with them, setting them up,
on the off chance.
The off chance.
On the off chance that was the case.
So where we're at with this trial so far, I think this probable cause thing, I think that the bar is too low to put a man on trial for their life, but here we are. Like, I'm not a lawyer, but I mean, it does, I guess, we have probable cause, it looks like, huh? So do you guys think that we're going to go through and actually go to trial? Do you think we'll actually even make it to trial? What are your thoughts on what will happen? Like, JP, do you think Tyler is going to survive, for that matter? I mean, where do you think that we're going to go through to trial? What have you seen from this week from everybody, all sides? Do you think that we're going to get to trial, I guess?
Yeah, honestly, dude, I'd love to have a cut and dry opinion because it's just more entertaining for people to listen to. I don't know. I'm so ignorant of like the legal perspectives and what's legitimately required to go to the next step of due process. So I don't know. I'll just throw this in there. If Tyler Robinson did it, and let's just say he wasn't a lone gunman, there were some people working with them, setting them up,
on the off chance.
The off chance.
On the off chance that was the case, I would imagine Tyler Robinson would contract a case of Jeffrey Epstein syndrome, and that would be the end of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel super confident that I know what enough kind of evidence to justify a trial is, but I would imagine that this probably meets the threshold. I personally would, I feel, again, I'm not saying I'm like a genius or a defense attorney or whatever, but I feel pretty confident that I would annihilate this case if I was his defense attorney with one strategy, which is just to say Lance did it. And then go every single thing and just go, could Lance have done it? Could Lance have done it? And if the answer is yes, then which of them is more likely to have done it based solely off of their background? This one has attacked a person with a knife. This guy got kicked out or whatever. This guy had absolutely no background or whatever. And then that feels like reasonable doubt. But again, that's just like lawyer. If I actually thought he was involved and they both did it, I would never defend him. But I think they probably have enough to go to trial, and I have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, like I said, if I had to bet, I think we're talking something super weird, like, and then a note or something. I don't know. But it like the thought of if those guys did it, or if there is any scenario where Charlie was killed by fill in the blank, and I argued against that, I would have a huge like that would hurt me internally to think about later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why you wouldn't be a good lawyer. Too much of a conscience. Danks, curious, you have a hot take opinion where this might go?
I think that they're going to take it to court. I think that the judge is going to rule. I think that I've done some research on political trials, show trials, media-driven trials. And what happens a lot of times is the judge in charge of the case, the attorneys, they all become overly invested. And so they feel pressure from not only the media and all that, and the people in their lives and just everyday regular stuff in their life, but then the people that are being paid up top to have a certain thing go a certain direction. So they're feeling pressure from all these different places. So I think that they're going to feel pressure to somehow make it plausible to go into trial. And then the problem that the prosecutors did, I think, is they overcharged Tyler based on the evidence that they have. And it's a very common thing for the trial to become a quagmire, for lack of a better word, maybe, because of the overcharge compared to the evidence brought for that charge. And a lot of times what happens is the person goes free.
But
if you look at
overcharge, like what do you think he should have been charged with based on the evidence?
Based on the evidence, you might be able to put something like, conspiracy or something like that, but you don't have them pulling the trigger. You can't put them on capital murder for something that you can't prove. And sometimes these overcharged scenarios without bulletproof evidence, no pun intended, will end up in either a mistrial or some low, like it happened with Diddy. You see with Diddy, you saw it with all kinds of
Casey
things.
Anthony.
Casey Anthony was another one. Kyle Rittenhouse was another one. Michael Jackson was another one. O.J. Simpson was a great example, you know? So, and he did it. It's like the opposite. It's like when sometimes the pressure just pushes things in certain directions where it's like anything can happen. And you create this scenario where it's like a bomb goes off and anything can happen, right? But a lot of times it goes better for the defense than the prosecution, because the prosecution is the one bringing the charges. So I think that there's a chance it could all change significantly, whether Lance Twiggs is more involved and it somehow comes out in trial or something, or someone dies, Lance Twiggs disappears, Tyler Robinson, I don't know. But I think that the overcharge at the end of it will make a mistake for whatever happens at the end of the trial. Something will be not what they want, and it's because they overcharged. I can almost guarantee that if we make it all the way through to trial.
That's interesting. I never thought of that. Yeah. So relative to the overcharge, in theory, he could be not guilty. Doesn't mean he didn't do it. It means he didn't do those exact charges.
They can't prove those exact ones. Yeah, like I was gonna say, because when I asked what you were gonna say for the what should they have charged him, there was only one correct answer, and you said it. So I was like, if he says anything other than conspiracy, then this is nonsense.
Yeah,
the conspiracy's right. And
because you can prove like text
either.
Messages or whatever, text, Discord, maybe. Okay, fine. Like maybe you give him like 8 to 12 years for conspiracy of murder of Charlie Kirk or whatever, but then the hunt is still on. You see, and that's what they don't want. So it's a really messy situation.
Well, if they think that he sent those messages, he's getting convicted of murder one for sure. The only way that he would get away from those messages is if they convince the jury that there's a high enough probability that Lance did it without him knowing. The conspiracy thing, though, would be if they really get to a place where they know that Lance and Tyler did it, but they don't know which one pulled the trigger, and then they kind of point the finger at each other, and so it's like we really don't know which one is which, and so there's anonymity. Then you could pin him for conspiracy, but like it's it's interesting.
And then Lance, he has immunity for this specific thing,
but I'm pretty sure that it's not. It's
limited.
People said that it was like, oh, if he did it, then they can't charge him. I'm like, what's the point of immunity if you can charge him for it though? Because I don't know. Like again, I don't know this, so I'm not,
because there's all these different charges, and what they're bringing him in for, whatever, like the evidence that he's providing and speaking on, he will not catch. How I understand it, and I'm not a lawyer, but how I understand it is whatever the charges that are brought via the information he provides, he cannot
be charged. I assume
he's found for other things. If he pulled the trigger or if he drove the getaway car or whatever they find out, then he can be charged for that, but not anything affiliated with the text messages or whatever else he spoke on.
So I wish we had an attorney we could bring in, because that's actually the clarification on that would be very interesting, because it's like, okay, well, so he's saying that Lance did this. He's saying that he's saying that he did not write these text messages. But if it turns out that he did in fact write these text messages, and there's some way of proving it, or that he did write the Discord,
then I think
you're saying that you're like, he gets immunity
for
framing his roommate.
He's got to be honest though in this situation. If it turns out that he did write those messages, I think the immunity gets
that kills his deal. That would kill his deal. You're saying.
Yeah, you got to be honest on that deal. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. And there's probably a lawyer listening to us is like, fucking idiots.
yeah. You can't just like make that shit up, catch a immunity deal, and then be like, sorry, I did it.
Yeah, they gave OJ immunity. He's like, bruh. He's like, I just the picks names out of a hat of who did it. You know. Oh, check this out, dude. They said that they had. I can't believe I forgot to put that in my video last night. This is a huge deal, and I meant to put it in my video last night. The screenshot of their from the trial, like they're like, here is the text conversation, right? He testified that they had not talked since that morning. Like Tyler woke up and left at 7 a.m. and they didn't interact until 11:36 p.m. that night, when the text thread conversation, the Shakespearean love story, happened, right?
Right.
So first of all, just on its face, okay, when Charlie got shot, And then that video started circulating. All of us started sharing it or receiving it from our closest friends and family. We're like, did you see this? Like, who did not send that to their wife, or who did not get it from their boyfriend, or did not, you know what I mean? Everyone shared that, because that's what happens when a thing like that happens. So the idea that Charlie Kirk got killed that close to them at UVU, everyone's out. They're like, yeah, no, we didn't think it was important enough to text it to each other. First of all, nonsense. But on the fucking photograph of the conversation, it literally has a text message from earlier that day at 3 p.m. It says it right there. Barron pointed it out to me. He's like, they got a text message on that from that day. And I looked, I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? They literally, it's like, there's the first, it says it's from that day. Let me, I think I
have it. I have that clip. I have it reply. Yeah, I posted it here. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, pull up the first text message, because it's right there. Like, these guys are so sloppy, man.
It's sloppy.
And after taking a look at that text, I will need to jump off to attend to fatherly duties.
My wife's birthday tomorrow, and I got to go wrap some stuff.
That's last minute, man. I like that.
Is her birthday? My wife's birthday was on the 10th.
Gabrielle's.
Oh yeah, my wife's birthday was on the 10th.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I got two girls this month. Then my oldest is on the 30th.
Nice. All right, this one right here.
Cancers.
Isn't it this one where they're
the very first one? So that one right there. See, look. So see if you go and it says
Monday 1:15 p.m.
No, that one. Yeah. So it says stop what you're doing and look under my keyboard. That's the one that first opened it, and then go up right above that.
Oh yeah, right here. I love you, moi moi. I love you, more skis, moi moi moi. What the heck?
Hey, in the middle of the day at 4 p.m., Charlie got whacked out 4 hours earlier than that, supposedly, and this is just like,
just regular talk. And like they're in a group chat. Like you would think if they were involved, or they wanted, maybe if they weren't involved, they would be talking about it. If they were involved, they wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't want to draw any attention. Maybe, I don't know. How do you read that then?
Yeah, either way, he testified they did not talk through text or any other way that entire day. And then in the exhibit, they showed that's not true.
I got you.
So funny, man.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. The fact that they're just lying about everything is just a lie. It's crazy.
I will close it out though. The last thing I'll say is if you haven't watched the testimony, JP, go watch the last 4 minutes of it. And because at the end they ask him, they're like, what kind of games did you guys like to play? And he's like, well, Tyler likes this one game where you got to play a pirate. Dude, I can't even think about that moment without laughing every single time, dude. It's like